How's it going, everyone? I hope everyone had a good Christmas and is not feeling too guilty for stuffing themselves up like me. So I've come out for a walk in the woods today. Thought I'd come out for a cup of coffee and have a little bit of a bimble on my own. As we're approaching the new year, I thought I'd make one more video, and I thought we can do this one on a subject that every bushcrafter loves, which is fire. And we're going to be talking about the flint and steel today. I'm going to do a little demonstration of how to use the flint and steel, and then we're going to look at some of the options that we have, that I have, that you guys can maybe look at as well. But different options of, the different types of flints and steels you can get, and different type of kits that you can put together. We'll have a look at that as well. So I'll show you the ones I've accumulated over the years, and I'll talk about which one's my favorite. On top of that, we're going to talk about fire safety as well, guys. So I think I'll start there. Obviously, if you are going to be practicing fire in the woods, make sure you seek permission, or if you haven't, then make sure you've got a way to contain that fire. So maybe like a little hobo stove or wood burning stove, or a fire pan like I have down below here. I'm not going to show you that, guys. That's just to put the fire into, so it doesn't then scorch the ground, and if it's in a peated area, we don't want to cause a forest fire. So it's really important that you do seek permission, or you practice fire lighting techniques in a safe place, in a safe manner as well. So it's really important that you guys respect the importance of fire and the dangers it could cause. But it's an important skill to learn, and flint and steel is one of those techniques that is easy to learn. But it does take a little bit of practice, not a lot. Okay, and there's different techniques that we can use. I'm going to show you one of them today. I've employed different types of techniques. I'm going to show you the one that I prefer. You guys might have something different. That's perfectly fine. Ultimately, the objective is to get fire. Okay. Now, I did a video previously, some time back, on the ferrocerium rod. A lot of people call that the flint and steel, but it's not. It's actually a ferrocerium rod. I suppose in a sense that it still uses sparks to create fire. What I'm going to show you is pretty much the technique before that. Okay, so think of it as the technique that was employed years ago. Vikings used to use this, and they used to use it many years. I can't even date it. I suppose if you were to look at Beaver Bushcraft, they're an expert in this particular technique, and you can buy some equipment from them and at a reasonable price, and have your first flint and steel kit from them, and they'll talk about some of the histories there. So I'll definitely put a link there for you guys into the comment section, or actually in my description I'll put the link there, and you can have a little look there and find Beaver Bushcraft, where you can buy some of the flint and steel kits. The ones I've come from that store, and I've got some other ones from custom makers, and I've also made my own, and I'm going to show you the ones I've made myself, and I'll show you some of the kits that I have. But I think first things first, let's do a little demonstration of how to use the flint and steel. Okay, so what you need is a piece of flint. Okay, it has to have a sharp edge on there, something to catch the ember. So in this case, I've got horseshoe fungus, and anyone who's tried to process this fungus before will know that it is a process. It takes a long time. You have to harvest it off the birch tree. This is the horseshoe fungus itself. Take the amadou layer, which is that trauma layer, stretch it, beat it, and you've got to boil it in ashes for hours on end, and then strain that water out and do it again, dry it, beat it, and so on. So anyone that's ever done that before will know it is a process, and you can tell through my tone of voice I have done it, and I didn't like doing it because it's a long process. Nowadays we have obviously established chalk off. Chalk off is easy to make. All you need is a bit of canvas or a bit of denim or cotton material, like a tea towel or something like that, and you just char it in a tin. Dead easy, and it's very quick to make. It catches a spark just as well as the horseshoe fungus, and it's very unlikely that you'll ever be in a situation where you need to harvest the horseshoe fungus and process it. Okay, if you're carrying char cloth and you can char some material, whether it's off your clothing or something that you have, then definitely go down that route. I'm going to use a horseshoe fungus because it's good for educational purposes, because this is probably what they would have done years ago. When I say years ago, probably back in the Viking era. Okay. And you also need a steel. It has to be a high carbon steel that can take a spark. So basically, when you strike down on to the flint here, it's scraping a bit of the steel off and it's creating those sparks. Okay. Couple of techniques you can do. You can put the material that you're trying to catch the ember on top of the steel and then strike down like I just did there, which is my preferred method. Or some people like to hold the steel and then strike down with the actual flint into an ember pan or some form of tin that has charred material in there, whether that's charred cloth or even charred wood, like some punky wood can be charred. It doesn't catch as well, I don't find. That's just my personal opinion there, guys. I could do it, but it's not. I prefer charred cloth or the horseshoe fungus. Now I'm trying to process this horseshoe fungus to get fluffy in order to catch an ember. What you'll find is charred cloth, I find personally, catches better, okay, than this stuff, because this needs a little bit of processing. But we'll give it a go. So let's show you how that looks. It might take several attempts. Sometimes I can do it once and 2 strikes. Sometimes I'm there for a while trying to get a spark to land, and weather depending as well. I think we're going to have a bit of rain here. Just so you know, I've got a bit of a bird nest here. It's not a bird nest that I've collected off the trees when I made myself. I've scraped on, so the woodlands here is a bit wet. I'm not sure if it's going to spark, but I've got something in there. Hopefully we can get a fire going. I'm not going to light a proper fire. I've got an ember pan next to me here as well, guys, so I'm not leaving any trace. There we go, let's try that. We're getting sparks. Just needs to land. There we go. Okay, that's all. That's it to it. So there we go. I've got an ember now. You see that smoking. Let me bring that in. I'm just putting all my gear into. All right, that's the horseshoe fungus spark there. Let's grab my nest. Get that right in there. Let's see if we can get a fire. The wind's coming from behind me here. Sometimes just coaxes in like this. We'll get a bit of air in there. I know this grass is very, very wet. See if it gets going. You get the idea, guys. And obviously, how you prepare your tinder is really important, guys. It's one of those that hit or miss with this sometimes. Same with the bow drill. Getting the embers the easy bit, I find. There we go. We have fire. Let's get some more. There we go. And that's fire. Just to show you again. Ash in my eye. And that's it, guys. So let that burn down on my fire pan. Excellent. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to turn you around and I'm going to show you some options of different flint and steel kits that I own that might get you thinking. Okay, if you want to try this technique and have a go at doing the flint and steel, again, it's a very fun way of making fire for sure, and it's, you know, it's part of our history. I think it's something we've lost So cool. Right, I'll turn you around, guys. Okay, so let's have a look at some of the options that we've got to use, or the ones I've got anyways. This is probably my favorite kit here. This is the one I was using just a minute ago. This is a tin. It's a replica or a recreated version of like the 1700s tinder tin. This is what they would have carried in the fur trade as well, something similar to this. There's other ones as well. You've got the Hudson Bay tin, which is a round one. It's got like a little lens in it. I haven't got that one, but I like this one out of all my kits. It's small, it's compact, and inside is where I keep all my bits and bobs. Now I haven't got any charcloth or horse's hoof fungus in this particular tin. So there's my tin, my flint. Okay. There's my steel, so I'm using a round steel for this one. It's a nice big one. You can hold it like that, or you can even hold it the way I was. Okay. Here is it's like a little ember match. So you've got a charred end, and you soak this in saltpeter, and then you can use the same way. This is in a brass tube. You can hold it on the end of the flint and strike it, and the ember will go to the end there, and you can use that to light up your tinder. In here, I've heard them being called different things, Lucifer sticks or Lucifer matches. It's like the first match. I think an Australian guy on YouTube called it spunk. I don't know why, but Australians have these weird and wonderful terms. Now this one is a bit done now. I think, yeah, these ones are done. Let's have a look at this one here. One more, I think. Basically, it's a bit of sulfur that you melt on the end of what I've got here is a toothpick. I just cut them in half, and once I'm done with them, if I've got a bit left, I'll keep it and put more sulfur on it. So when you get your ember, you can light this, and this will then take a spark, and it turns into a match. You can light candles and your fire, everything from that. So that's in there as well. I need to make more of those. I will do a video of how to make Lucifer matches if you want me to show you that. Obviously, there's a few things to consider there, guys. Making sure you're protecting your lungs when you're working with sulfur, that's for sure. So I'll do a video on that very soon, I suppose. If you want me to do that, guys, let me know in the comment section. But that's my 1700s sort of reenactment kit. I don't do any reenactment, but I like this kit. That's my favorite one. Let me just close that up. Okay, another flint and steel kit I've got here is this one here. It's a leather pouch. Now this one was probably, that's a big bag of that horseshoe fungus, so I'll just put that there. This one was probably my first one I ever had, and I did buy it because I didn't know how to make them at the time. I didn't have the resources to. I sometimes carry some jute string with me, gardening string, because you can fluff that up as well, and that will help. It's just an old file, so this is something you can do, and I've made my own since, old files. And there's your flint there, and it still works as well, as long as you don't, ruin the temper of the file. That flint could do with being sharpened up, maybe do a little nap on it. But you can see there, some sparks there. That's the one I was using for years and years and years. And I got it from the Bushcraft UK forum. If you're not a member of that, definitely check it out. From a guy called John Fenner, and he called it the Dragon's Breath, and he was selling these for like £5 at a time. And yeah, so I thought, well, for £5, the leather pouch alone is worth that. So he's taken some old leather from couches and that, and then upcycling it. That's my horseshoe fungus there. So that's an option. As I said, I have made my own version of the Dragon Breath. Let's have a look at some options here. Here's a little pouch that I made years and years and years and years ago. I was probably a young lad. And in there is one that I bought from Beaver Craft, or Beaver Bushcraft, should I say. It's like a Viking style steel. I really like this one. This is probably up there with my favourites for sure. And it just fits in a small pouch, and there's a little flint there. I haven't got any material in there for catching the ember, but I can put it in there easily. So that's that little flint and steel kit. That's nice and small. I like this one, you know, discreet and very small. You stick it in your pocket, and there's a little fire kit there for you. I've got another one like it just here, another little pouch that I made. And this one is the steel itself I made myself. So again, there's my flint. The steel is an old file, and what I've done is taken a bit of deer bone that I managed to find in the forest. It was a tibia, I believe. It was like a leg bone, and I sat there and I was using flint to carve out a nice groove inside of it. Okay, and then I put my steel inside, and I've used resin from the pine tree mixed with some charcoal, and I've glued it in there, so it's all done from natural materials except for the steel. The steel's on no file, and that's brilliant. You know, that was my homemade version, and you can just show. I mean, I can do some embroidery on that. I could do it with wood if I wanted to, but that again gets the sparks, as you can see. So let's put that in there. That just sits in that little pouch there. That's a little kit I made myself. Cost me nothing, and just shows you what you can do, isn't it? Okay. I've got a little canvas bag here. Okay, that I sewed upon a sewing machine quickly. It took me literally a minute or two. Nice small one. I wanted small kits as well. And this one has another Viking style steel, and this is a smaller version of the one I just showed you. And again, great steels these. I got this one for free because Beaver Bushcraft, when I ordered one, I ordered the bigger one, and they sent me the smaller one by mistake. So I messaged them, and they did, you know, the courtesy, and just said, keep that one. We'll send you the proper size one, and they apologized and everything. So mistakes happen, you know. But the good thing is, I got a free steel out of it. I'm not sure if this is going to. Right, great, that one, is it? There we go. I think it's technique. But anyways, yeah. So that's cool. And you can hang that around your neck if you want to do. They do little neck pendants as well. I'm going to make one. I'm definitely going to do something for a video to make one and show you how to make your own flint and steel kit. If you want to see that video, guys, let me know. Put that in the comment box. Another one that I've got here. Now, the pouch itself I made is patterned on the Sami tribe style pouch, you know, that you get in Finland. So I made this pouch myself. Okay. Again, I will do videos of how to make your own pouches. The steel and the flint and steel inside of it, let me get them out. So I've got this couple of flints in there. This one here is probably my favourite out of all of them. The tinder, the 1700 tinder tin that I got at brass tin is my favourite tin. This is my favourite steel. Okay, this one was gifted in a Secret Santa from Bushcraft UK. Who every year I don't know if they're still doing it because I haven't been on that site for a while. They were doing a Secret Santa. People will make something and send it to somebody, and you'll get a name. And I was very fortunate to get. I'm not sure if anyone recognises that symbol there, but that's Dave Budd. He's a knife maker, and he does knives and flint and steel kits from forging them. You know, does old-fashioned forging. So this is a forged one. Really like this one. So yeah, and I got him as my Secret Santa, and I got the gift of this. It came in the pouch. It was like a suede style pouch. The pouch got all moldy and it broke up, and it just the thread came undone. So the pouch didn't last very well, and I think it's the way I stored it. So I made my own pouch, and I wanted a Sami style pouch. So the pouch didn't last that well. But again, you can see breaks or sparks. In addition, you've heard me say charring tin. All you need, guys, is something like this. This is a little Altoid tin, and inside here there's some charred materials. I've got charred wood, I've got that's char cloth that I was talking about, and that catches a spark really well as well, guys. Okay, so that's our charring tin. And they're the kits I have, guys. There's lots of different ones. You can get ones in little brass tubes, and you can put, you know, them together. There's different variations to the same thing, but ultimately you don't need a lot to do so. I mean, I've accumulated them from buying them, making them, and all sorts. I really like this fire lighting technique. It's probably one of my favorites, if not my favorite technique. I do the bow drill and hand drill in that. If I was to choose, it would be a flint and steel if I had to say which is your favorite. Okay, guys. So I'm going to just turn you around, guys, and we'll wrap this video up. So guys, that's how you do a fire, making a fire with a flint and steel. So nothing to it really, it's quite straightforward. It takes some practice, but it's still easy to learn once you get the hang of it. I think the key thing is the steel, making sure it's made from the right materials, or a nice high carbon steel that's been hardened properly. If it has, then you can create sparks from it. You don't have to necessarily use flint. There's other mediums you can use. There's other stones. Look for something glossy and sharp, and it may work. Just try it, see how it goes. I've had some success with other stones other than flint. I couldn't tell you what the names of those stones were, but on top of that, something like an old file, you can snap a piece off, and that's your flint and steel kit there. Some people have done that and then happy with just that as their kit. Make a little pouch for it, or put it into a little Altoid tin, and you'll be happy. That's your little fire kit. Now, I just want to have a little discussion quickly about knives. You can use the back of your knife, and it's only if it's made from a high carbon steel and it's been hardened properly. And some people do that. What I should say though, if you're striking a hard stone onto your knife, that's how you do create hairline fractures on your knife, and eventually that knife can then eventually break, or it can have complications afterwards. So you can actually damage your knife too, because it can chip off some of that steel. Now, if you're going to do it, then by all means go ahead. I mean, I've done it with the Mora knives, the Mora Kniv knives, the little companions and stuff. Struck the stone or the flint straight onto the knife, and it's created sparks, and I've caught it in my little ember catcher. Them knives are cheap, okay? They're like, what, 10 quid, 10 pounds? Nothing, So if I did eventually break it, I'm not going to cry about it. I can replace it. If you're going to do it to your higher end knives that cost, anything from £60 all the way up to £500, whatever you're going to spend on your knife, then I suggest don't do that to your knife, because again, like I say, that is your key tool. You spend a lot of money on that. Just get an old bit of carbon steel. You don't have to use the back of your knives. Unless it's a dire situation, that's the last resort, and that's the only thing you've got to make a fire, then yeah, okay, I get it. But just to do it for fun on really expensive knives, then, at the end of the day, it's your money. You can do what you want. I wouldn't do it on any of my higher end knives. I do it on my Moras, and then done, just as a demonstration purpose. So if you have a cheap high carbon steel knife, then give it a go. There's nothing stopping you trying this technique. What I will say, guys, is Happy New Year to everyone. I hope you all have a good New Year, and here's a start to a whole new year, and hopefully I can get out more, do videos like this. Let me know what you think of the video, guys. Just drop a comment in the comment section. If there's something you want me to do or show or demonstrate, whether it's making pouches and showing you how to make a flint and steel kit, I will. I'm going to do some more videos of DIY as well as getting out and doing excursions. So just let me know, guys. But give me a little thumbs up and subscribe if you like this video, and I'll see you on another one. And again, Happy New Year, guys. Have a good one. Try not to get too drunk, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.